Hi there, my name is Emma, and in today's video, I am going to teach you the difference between be and being when we are talking about people. Okay, so I'm going to show you some sentences. The first one, the boy is naughty. So naughty is like a bad boy. And the second one, the boy is being naughty. What is the difference in these two sentences? What is, just looking at the grammar, what is something that you notice? Well, you probably notice this is the only thing that's different. The boy is naughty. The boy is being naughty. Okay? Now, one of these has to do with behavior. The other one has to do with personality. Okay? So if we look at the boy is naughty, what we really are saying is the boy is usually bad. It's a part of his personality. It's his feelings. He's a bad boy. It's who he is. He's a naughty boy. That's a little bit different than the boy is being naughty. In this case, we're just looking at a behavior or an action. The boy is usually a good boy, maybe. Maybe he usually does what his parents tell him to. He listens to his teachers. He's a good boy. But that one day, he is acting a certain way. His actions are naughty. His behavior is naughty. The boy is being naughty. So again, the difference is this is more about the boy, it's his personality type. And this is usually a temporary behavior. Okay, it's not forever. It's just right now he's acting that way, but it's not who he is. So let's look at some other examples. You are rude. Okay, not you personally, but just an example. You are rude. Rude, for those of you who don't know, means not polite. So a person who's not polite is a rude person. Okay. If I say you are rude, I'm saying it's your personality. You're usually rude. You're a very rude person. It means this is who you are. Now compare that to you are being rude. In this case, you're not usually a rude person. You're quite a polite person maybe. But in this situation, your behavior in this moment is rude. Okay, so again, this is who you are, and this is your behavior in a specific situation. So I'll give you an example, okay? I know someone who is always, well, no, I don't actually know somebody. But imagine if there's somebody who's always picking their nose. We could say, oh, that guy's rude. He's so rude. But if he, I guess, does it once, okay, if it's just a behavior that happens only one time, you can say he's being rude. He's not always rude. It's just this one time. Here's another example. He is a smartass versus he is being a smartass. A smartass is a person who tries to be funny, but they do it in kind of a not nice way. So it's almost like not nice funny. So if you think about when you were a kid, maybe there were some smartasses in your class. Those were the kids who always said things that made the teacher very angry. Okay? So those people are smartasses. They purposely try to make people angry. So if you say he is a smartass, it just means that's his character. He's usually this way. This is how he is. If you say he is being a smartass, it means maybe just this one time. It's his behavior in this moment, but it's not usual for him. It's just right now. So let's do some work on this together. Let's do some examples together. Okay, so now let's do some examples together. The first sentence I have, I was careful when I drove. So when I drive a car, I'm careful. I was careful when I drove. And again, was is the past tense for be. Okay, so this is something I usually do. I'm a careful person. I drive very carefully. I want you to imagine this. Imagine if I'm not usually careful. but I see a police officer close to me. Okay, maybe that might change the way I drive. So now I have a behavior. How can I make this into a behavior or an action that's not always true? If you said, we can add something, you are right. What are we going to add? We're going to add being. Good. I was being careful when I drove. All right, let's look at the next one. Jack is stupid. Jack is a stupid person. I'm sorry if any of you are named Jack. I don't mean you. This is just an example. Jack is stupid. It's who he is. It's in his personality. It's Jack. Jack's a stupid guy. Now, I want you to imagine this. Imagine if Jack is like Einstein. He's actually a really, really smart guy, but just today he did something very stupid. He did one stupid action. What could we say? We could say Jack is, what are you going to put here? Great. If you said being, you are correct. Jack is being stupid. That's his behavior right now, but he's usually a smart guy. Okay, the last one. Stacy is lazy. Stacy is lazy. Stacy never does any work. She watches TV all day, all night. She doesn't do anything. She's a lazy person. Now, I want you to change this to something different. Instead of Stacy being lazy, I want you to imagine she's a hard worker, but today she's feeling tired. What could we say about her action right now? We can say Stacy is being lazy. It's not usual. It's not it's not a part of her personality. It's just her behavior or her action in the moment. Okay, so I invite you to take our quiz at www.engvid.com. There you can do a bunch of practice questions to make sure that you really understand this material. And until next time, take care. Thank you for watching.